to millions and millions of kids and millions of people, and the kids think, well, he must be doing something right, because otherwise why would they be using him, you know, eating hamburgers or what have you.
Right.
So he can't be all wrong. He's got to be right, because these people who know what's going on are using him. So they're kind of saying it's okay to be Dennis Rodman. Now, I think it's okay to be Dennis Rodman, but those same people saying it's okay to be Dennis Rodman would probably never invite Dennis Rodman to their homes.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, you understand? Yeah. So that hypocrisy right there is something that I really cannot deal with. I know it sounds sort of like you know, I'm fooling myself a little bit, but guess what? I went to I know very little about this stuff. I'm just getting involved, and I tried to get my own name. You know, like Wilt Chamberlain. He said, "Sorry, it's gone." You know.
Somebody else has WiltChamberlain.com?
No, not .com. Just my whole name. WiltChamberlain.com. They have that and everything with Wilt Chamberlain all around. I had to come up with something, so I came up with Wilt's World.
And so, what do people learn about Wilt when they dial in?
Well, they'll get a chance to get some Wiltisms. They'll get a chance to get some biography of things that they wouldn't normally know. Like I was 22 inches, you know, long when I was born. You know, 8 pounds, 10 ounces,
stuff.
And different things that you wouldn't normally find out about. But we talking a lot of current stuff. They'll get a chance to know what number, you know, which we didn't talk about. You know, 800 number, 280-1776 to buy my new book, right.
I think Wilt was cueing me to hold up the book.
Hold up the book.
There it is, right there. Yeah. Who's running the asylum?
That's right.
Is that long enough?
Yeah, and 280-1776. It's 800 number. You can buy it. So all those kind of information. So we're going to be getting involved in a whole lot of different things.
What's the number one Wiltism of all time?
To me is, you're never at your best until you're laid to rest. Now think about that a second. You're never at your best till you're laid to rest.
Well, that doesn't give me much to look forward to, does it?
Well, that's the way it goes. I mean, look at someone like Marilyn Monroe. When she was alive, she was just an average little star, and people had different things to say about it. But when you die, all of a sudden they tell you how great you were. I mean, you become the greatest at this, you're the greatest at that, and so on and so forth.
I'm bummed out now. All right, that was pretty good. One more.
Well, how do you think? Okay, here's one for you. Every mother's crow thinks her child is white as snow. Now figure that one out. Yeah, because that means that okay, that everyone thinks theirs is the best. You understand? I mean, whether you are from an era of a certain time, you think your team's the best, or Jack Dempsey was the best because you were from that time. But everyone thinks that theirs is the best. You understand? Either their kids always pure and whatever, or their teams that they root for is definitely the best because that's what they grew up with. So everybody thinks that theirs is the best. So when we talk about contemporary time versus yesteryear. Classic sports deals a lot with yesteryear. That's what makes them so great, because now you're going to have a chance to really see whether your crow really can measure up to, the crows of the past, without being influenced by the media, the broadcasters, and the people whose livings are being earned from contemporary, times. Meaning is, why would someone who is doing a game for NBC, let's say, do nothing but applaud how great the players of the day are? Their checks kind of depend upon that. I mean, they're like salesmen, and they're selling the 97 game, like selling the 97 Oldsmobile. They're not worried about selling the 56 Oldsmobile or the 57 Oldsmobile. They're going to sell today's game, because that's what they can pay by, and they have to keep those people watching. So they're going to say all these wonderful things about teams and wonderful things about players.
Not all of them, though, Wilt. I mean, there are some that honestly talk about the game as being in trouble.
Oh, they do? Who are these people?
I've talked about it on the air, but I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. But I'm among a group of people that will openly discuss that.
A very small group of people. Then, if you willing to do that, because I don't really know. I don't really see. If I were here just once or twice, I would understand that. I mean, listen, the TV cameras. When they're watching an NBA game, if the stadium is not full, they pan down low all the time and keeps them going, But now when the house is filled, then all of a sudden the cameras are all over showing you the people screaming. I mean, the representation and the presentation of certain things are only done.
But if you ran sports, would it be any different?
Well, I would say yes. I would say definitely, because I would want to acknowledge the fact that we're having a problem here and we must do something about it. And we aren't perfect, and this is what we're going to try to do to correct the problem. Understand? But they think by hiding the problem sometime, and also maybe creating things to camouflage the problem. Now, let me tell you what I mean about that. Mediocrity is displayed because they will give you things like, oh, this guy had a triple-double. and they make you, the fan, think that he just did something spectacular. Some of these triple doubles, if Jerry West or Oscar Robertson or Elgin Baylor had them, they would think they would have had the worst day in the world. They thought they just, oh God, 10 points, 11 rebounds, or whatever, 10 assists. They said, oh man, I stunk the joint up.
Right.
Understand? So they would make you think, everyone thinks when you hear triple double, they think of something fantastic, right?
Well, these days it is.
All right, so you answered my question. You're right. And it is.
But that's good for you. It makes what you and the Big O and all those guys did, it makes it stand out all the more.
Well, yes, it does, but they don't say that. They don't. They keep that mute, Al. They keep that mute. They don't say that. I never hear Johnny Red Kerr, who does the Chicago, and I listen to him all the time. And Michael will do something fantastic. Oh, Michael just had 49 points or 51 points, and he'll say, oh God, the greatest 51 points. But he'll never say, yeah, but Wilt Chamberlain had 130, 35 of those. Well, let me give you a Sports Illustrated quote from the coach of Detroit Pistons daily about a year or so ago, when he was asked about the greatness of the rebounding of Rodman.
Right.
And he said Rodman's the greatest rebounder that ever played the game. So the guy asked the question, says, well, what about Wilt Chamberlain? What do you think he said?
I don't know.
He said, well, Wilt was just big, bigger than everybody else. Then the guy said, well, what about Bill Russell? He said, oh, well, Bill Russell didn't have anybody to play against. You know, and that was his answer. Now, that's typical of what you may hear. Now, if you would see who is in the Hall of Fame, and there's, I don't think, but one center in the Hall of Fame of recent vintage, well, the last 30 years that I didn't play against, and that's Bill Walton. All the rest of them I played against. Every center that's in the Hall of Fame almost.
All right. Well, if there's one place we think you're going to get your credit and your due, it's right here on Classic Sports. Well, I think we're going to need a third edition of History Replay.
I think it's about time. I'm not just talking about my due. Why I'm in love with Classic Sports is because it gives people a chance to see for themselves some of the things that we did. I mean, they don't even know. I'm laying in bed. Listen, I'm laying in bed watching one of my TV games, and Robinson from San Antonio gets a rebound, throws it out, and runs on the court, and the announcer says, "Can you imagine that? A 7-footer, going in the end by my mind." So I'm saying to myself, "Yeah, I can imagine that." In junior high school, I saw a guy do that. But,
all right, so the next show we do is going to be in your bedroom, and it's just going to be reactions to things Wilt heard on television.
Yeah, and I got some reactions, believe me.
When we continue, we're going to find out some of the other things about Wilt Chamberlain's life. This is Classic Sports.
For an entire NBA season. That will never happen. The world will come to an end.
Is he right?
Well, Rick, I don't know, man. You ever watch Rick play? No, he's on my All-Star team. When I pick teams, just talking with the guys, they pick your guys, and I'll pick around. I got to take Rick Barry on my team.
Who else are you taking in your starting five?
Well, now it changes a little bit because some of these guys you got to take, MJ. You understand?
You met him once. Now he's MJ.
Yeah, well,
right?
since I met him once, I got to take him. Plus, we need someone to pay the rest of the guys' salaries and stuff. And MJ's going to do that for us. No, I mean, there's a lot of guys I like, but I've always liked Rick Barry.
I want to know more about you. What's your house like?
Well, I am very, very fortunate. I had a chance to design my own home in Los Angeles. I've been living in there now for close to 25 years. There's no right angles in my house. Understand? Now, as a builder, you got to understand that, and you got a chance to do some things. Meaning, like there's no square rooms or rectangle rooms. Everything is at a 45-degree angle, and I believe in pyramid energy type of things. What happens when you build like that? You have a lot of waste of space and so forth. Mm-hmm. But I got a lot of glass and a lot of rock and a lot of things, and it's a very nice place to live. Lots of room, lots of greenery inside and outside. I got
mirrors,
swimming pool,
lots of TVs.
Well, lots of TVs. Yeah. Well, I got a swimming pool that comes through my living room, so I can do some things. But it's very innovative and it's very nice. It's sometimes maybe intimidating to some people because not that I built things just for my size, but like the chimney place in my living room goes up 55 feet, and it's built with Bouquet Canyon. You got I don't know how many thousands of tons of stone that's in the chimney place alone.
What kind of accommodations did you make for your size in the house?
You know what? Only one.
The shower?
Well, shower, yeah. I'll take that back. The shower, because I got a lot of hairs in there and higher, but only one major accommodation I made in my house.
That is?
The John.
What? Okay, you got me. What did you do?
What we did very simply is that, Johns all come in standard size.
Yes.
So we built a platform for them, like you would put on a king on a throne.
So you didn't have to stoop down to everyone else's level.
Right. There you go.
Now, of all the things in the house, what's the most prized possession that you've got?
Well, the thing that people find the most fascinating to them, which is something that really is not that fascinating, but in my bedroom, I have a the roof slides open. So you can push a button and the whole roof will come just wide open, and you can sleep under the stars, or you can get your sun, you can get your suntan at 10 o'clock and all. And it's sort of fascinating to watch, and you push I always want to put a little music track with it, so we go, and the dome just,
right?
Yeah, So it slides open, and it really is kind of fantastic, But, and I have a room in there, which is a TV, which is actually a reading room. But I have a section of my house that have guest rooms, and one of the guest
for me when I come.
Right. And one of the guest rooms is really a water bedroom, but the whole room is a bed. Has like a 9-foot circle water bed in the middle.
Are we getting to that 20,000
No,
thing again?
No. I'm just telling you about this. Is just a pleasure. You can lay back and read. You can watch TV. We call it the do it room.
If I go into the kitchen and I open the door of the refrigerator,
right?
Am I going to get a secret of why you're 60 and look as great as you do? Is there an answer in there?
I don't think so, But I tell you,
I know we've talked about corned beef sandwiches. You like me.
Yeah. I'm dying for one right now. But listen, what I do, I drink at least a gallon of lemonade, fresh squeezed lemonade every day.
How did that start?
Well, I used to drink milk and so on and so forth a lot.
That was your first job when you were 5 years old?
Right, that's right. And so I've had this great ability to consume a lot of liquid because I sweat a great deal. And when I'm out there playing volleyball and so on and so forth, and living in L.A., what I did was I have lemon trees in my grove, lemon trees and orange trees on my property. So I had to put those lemons to use. You understand? So I just started and I got this thing because I make my own lemonade, and it's really a routine you have to do. I won't go through it right now, but I make the best lemonade in the history of the world.
All right, well, you tease me now. What's the key? What's the key?
Well, the key is to get the oil out of the skin, not out of the rind. To get the oil, the essence of the oil out of the lemons. So it's not just the juice. So after you get the juice out of it, you take the lemons and you put them in a little bowl, and then you kind of mash them down a little bit to get the oil out of the skin.
So now how much oil are we talking about?
Oh, well, you can feel it. Once you get it, you'll see it. The rind will get really, really slippery, and you just mash it for about 3 or 4 minutes. But you don't want to mash it too hard because you don't want to get to the pulp. You want to mash it just enough to get the oil out of it for 3 or 4 minutes in water, and then you do that in another little basin of water, so you make sure you get all the oil out of it, and that gives you the essence of taste. And then you add what you want to add.
Just like that, we're the Food Channel. When we come back, the secrets of Philly cheesesteaks and what makes them great with Wilt Chamberlain in a moment. Or tells, we do it. You want to ask me a question?
Yeah, I do, because you watched a lot of sports for a long while. In retrospect, today's game, if you had to bring one thing back, change is inevitable, but sometimes it's better to change back in some ways. So if you had to change back from yesterday to today, let's say in basketball, what would be the one thing you would probably do?
I think I'd bring back the purity of competition that I saw in athletes when I was growing up. I mean, guys made money, but they didn't make over-the-top money, so they could still relate to the average person. And I think for the most part, they played because they loved the game. They loved the competitive fire. They loved what it did for them. And fans could relate because they weren't dealing with some rock superstar. They were dealing with a guy who they still rooted for because they wanted him to win. And I think that's what's missing. That's what I would bring back. How's that?
Well, that's really commendable. Except that who's going to give up that money that they're now making right now?
Well, you didn't say that it was going to happen.
Okay.
It was pie in the sky stuff.
And do you really think, though, that is the money that's made the difference is taking the competition away?
I think it changes the competition. I think it's real easy to not kill yourself about the championship when you're living lavishly.
I totally agree with you. I'm just giving you a hard time. I totally agree with you. With one addition is that you have to do away with those 10-year contracts, those no-cut, no-trade contracts.
The rookie salaries have got to go.
Yeah, they got to go.
You can't do that.
Because when you take away all the inspiration then whenever things go a little bit bad for them, they just say, well, to heck with it. And saying, I don't care. They can't trade me. They can't cut me. If they want to get rid of me, I got 9 years of salary coming.
I mean, I don't hear from some of the guys who are making a lot of money, I've got to have a championship the way you probably felt you had to have a championship.
You had to have one. You had to have one. But I don't know whether that's their fault.
No, I don't know that it's anybody's fault.
Yeah,
It's a slow.
Well, it's got to be somebody's fault, but I don't know whether it's altogether the athlete's fault. What I'm trying to say, I think if you got to and believe me, don't take us the wrong way. I love animals, and I have dogs, right? And my dogs are well trained and well behaved around people and so on and so forth. And I believe that kids should be given a strong, stern, way of teaching them how to respect their elders and so on. So I believe in all those kind of things, And I think that we have not given a lot of athletes a chance to let them know that they have to be a certain way. We got to demand a little bit more from them. If we accept mediocrity from them, that's all they're going to give us.
If I said to you, hey, Wilt, you know what? I'm better than you at blank.
Right.
Wouldn't you immediately want to prove me wrong?
Absolutely.
You would, right?
Yeah, that's the way I am. Yeah.
So if you played Bobby Fischer in dominoes, did you won?
I won. Yeah,
Why
absolutely.
not chess?
Yeah,
You
won.
played the great Bobby Fischer at dominoes, but not chess.
Well,
that doesn't seem very Wilt-like to me.
Well, okay, no. Hear me out. It would have been no competition. I would not have asked Bobby Fischer to play me in basketball. No competition. So I wanted something that we both had a chance to really show our skills at. I mean, I have no chance against Bobby Fischer in chess. He had no chance against me in basketball. So we tried to find some mutual ground, and dominoes is a thinking man's game, is a thing with numbers, and of course no one can think any better than a chess player. So he asked me for the dominoes. I want to play backgammon, because backgammon has a lot of luck, at least from the beginning, you understand? And almost anybody can win. You could be a backgammon master and get beaten by some guy who throws double sixes right away.
I've always wanted to know from you, I was a big fan of the ABA, and that played a little role in your life with the San Diego Conquistadors, and you were like the player coach or something, but you weren't always there, and it never struck me as though you really had the commitment to that stage of your life. It always seemed to me that, well, they're going to pay me a check, and if they're dumb enough to do that, I'll get. Tell me what happened.
Well, I think you're definitely wrong there.
Good.
Yeah, and let me tell you why. I signed for big money with the Conquistadors to play basketball, and I was kept from playing basketball by Jack Kent Cooke and the Lakers. So the coaching thing was just thrown in that I would do something to just maybe sustain that year of not playing, because they had to pay me, you understand? And really, Stan Albeck was really supposed to be the coach. So the aloofness that you may have seen was really nothing more than what I was supposed to be doing, you understand? I mean, and so I was indeed named the coach of the team, but not really. And so anything I was given there was extra, because I was signed to play, and if I didn't play or didn't have to play, then they still had to pay me. So no, I was definitely committed, and I enjoyed that year of having fun with the Conquistadors and with Stan Albeck, who, as I said, was really mainly the coach, but I was just mainly the coach in name.
See, that was back when sports was pure. When we come back with Wilt Chamberlain, we're going to go around the world.
And I became like a local Hawaiian, and we just put on something really easy, and that became
That was very subtle. That was very, okay.
So that became very, very easy. So really, it was just an easy way to be.
Okay, if I was going to travel around the world, what stops would I have to make if you were going to plan it?
You'd have to start off in Italy, where all the great food in the world seems to rest and be. And
that's good.
And also places like Firenze, because I love art, and to go to see David and things, and to go to Rome and see the Colosseum. But also like Eastern Europe. I mean, I'm very saddened about Yugoslavia, because it's one of my favorite places, in Dubrovnik and Split and some of the islands. I have a lot of Slavic friends and so forth and so on. So it's been a tough few years with what's going on over there, and I love that very much. Africa, Alexandria as a city in Cairo, because I love as the pyramids and Egyptology, and so we kind of like have to go there, and history is whatever. Now, where I have not been that I would like to go is I've been invited by the King of Bhutan to go up there, like in the Himalayas, and maybe like look for the Yeti, You understand? So thinking a real confrontation. You understand?
Wow.
Yeah, you understand? But traveling is very much a part of my life. And the one thing, Al, that I really regret the most is that when I was a kid, I didn't take as many foreign languages as possible.
Yeah, there were so many things you'd love to do that in
Yeah,
terms
yeah,
of in terms of knowledge. We got a little bit less than a minute left. Best time of your life? Not now, some other time. When you're looking back on it, boy, you wish you could have just sucked it all in for how great it was.
For me, the best time of my life was Overbrook High School from 1953 to 1955.
Why?
Because we were all a big family at Overbrook High School, and we loved each other, and I loved the school. I loved learning, and high school was just the best time.
I have 10 seconds left. What is the key thing to making a good cheesesteak? We never got to that.
Well, you got to be in Philadelphia, number one. That's the key.
I can't do it here?
No. The key thing is you got to go to Philadelphia. That's the key.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you.
today, as always, he's Wilt Chamberlain.